Hello, friends. So, funny story. I may have gone on a massive road trip in which we broke down multiple times and committed several crimes. So, who wants to hear a story today? I make good life choices. That's what really the summary of everything is. What I'm about to tell you. Um, I won't be going into the detail of the who or the why that initiated this. Suffice it to say that a friend of mine was in a situation that they needed to not be in. So I flew out to meet them. We got in their car and rode 16 hours roughly back to my home, where they're going to be able to establish and get a job and rebuild. Anyways, so this is somebody I had never met before, but who I had known for several years. Never met IRL, I mean. I obviously met them several times in, like, online and VR chat and whatnot. But they needed help. And if a friend needs help, I'm going to help them. I don't think I'm alone in this. I would trust that anybody else would do the same. So, I get on a plane, and I fly out. And I immediately, right out of the gate, I am just completely under the assumption, I am just assuming that airport security is going to run me through the ringer. Because you have, at this gate, a trans girl who's buying a cross-country one-way airplane ticket. That's like every red flag in the book. That's like all of the red flag, like top to bottom. You have, I am like every single red flag you can count. And it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get searched. They're gonna search everywhere. They actually didn't. So that was the first luck of the trip. Is that they actually let me through security. Which I didn't expect, frankly. I absolutely was not expecting them to, allow me in there. So, I land. I call up my friend. Like, okay, I'm at the airport. When are you going to be able to pick me up? And they're like, we have a problem. And I'm like, oh no. Minute 0 of the road trip, and we have a problem. Not loving this, because there's several things that could go wrong at every single stage of this. So I'm just like, okay, I have my Switch, I have a plug in the airport, and I have found a surprisingly comfortable chair. It was several hours before the road trip actually began, during which I am simply sitting at the airport that I have never been in before. Wondering, well, now this is going to pan out. If my friend ever doesn't actually have the ability to, extract and pick me up, I guess I'm just getting a ticket home? And there was a fear there. And of course there's going to be fear there. There's a lot of fear involved in every stage of this. I am still a person, and sometimes I get afraid. But I hunkered down, pulled out my Switch, did some Lionel farming in Tears of the Kingdom with comically poor results. I covered that on the Tears of the Kingdom stream. And got some pizza that messed up the roof of my mouth for the next couple days. The entirety of the road trip, I have had a burnt roof of the mouth. Not burnt, but like stabbed. It was a really bad pizza, is what I'm trying to say. It was one of those pizzas where the crust is super, super sharp. And you don't think about it because you just bit into the pizza and the dough was good, but then you get to the crust and you bite into the crust and it just stabs entirely into your brain pan. It's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. So the entire trip I'm dealing with that internally. I'm just like, not gonna let my friend recognize that I'm in, agony with my mouth, but okay, it's fine. And so. My friend picks me at the airport. Now, we have to be in their car for the entirety of the trip because they do have insurance. Their insurance does not cover somebody else driving, which means that I'm purely moral support. You know, I'm providing a place for them to stay. I'm going to be providing some monetary funds for the trip itself, you know, for like, you know, hotels and food and whatnot, until they can get their feet on the ground and get a job out here. I am moral support, which means that my friend is responsible for the entirety of the driving. I feel bad about this. I feel like actually guilty about this because, like, it's not a short drive. It's a really, really long and difficult one. It's across the majority of a continent and 2 separate countries. So, like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. So, we load up, and that's when we find out that the car has issues. Now, there were some suspicions that the car might have some issues, but I didn't know the extent of the issues, you see. Turns out the issues were worse than I thought they were going to be. Every couple of hours, the car engine just dies. Just every like, you know, 90 minutes to 2 hours, maybe sometimes 3, the car engine dies and you have to pull out a battery and jumpstart it. Oh, is that all? Okay. Why? Is there a reason for this? It's an alternator issue. Maybe it's a battery issue, we don't know. Oh, okay, and we're taking this across. Okay, good, fine. Not a problem. We've got this. So we stop, get a couple snacks, and start hitting the road. And the car breaks down, as expected. But we knew it was coming. So we pull over, just kind of coast over to the side of the highway, grab a jump kit that they had in their back seat, which is very convenient, I might add. Wire the car and jump the car. Like, okay, good. We're moving again. That's what's important. We're moving again. That's what counts. That's what counts. So let's keep moving, and everything's gonna be okay. Guess what happens within an hour? Turns out what actually is happening with the battery is that if you go above a certain, I'll say speed, but it's also like an intensity of how it's used, the battery dumps all of its charge. All of the like electricity in the battery just says no and just dumps. And the spark plug stops working because the battery has no charge. There's no spark to the plug. This is while you are on a highway at highway speeds. Like, this is when you're going, like, 120 kilometers an hour, and the battery just decides, haha, peace. And the battery light will occasionally come on, and we're like, oh, does that mean we're about to die? And they're like, yeah, it means we're about to die. It's like, okay. But sometimes if you pull over and come to a complete stop, sometimes that fixes it. Oh. Why? I don't know. Okay, fine, good. We have a solution. We know how this works. We have expectations of this. Okay, good. So, we pull over onto a rest stop for a moment, and the battery light turns off. It's like, okay, are we good? Yeah, we should be good now. Great, we're 90 minutes in this trip, and I'm already terrified of everything forever. So... So we get back in the car. No, wait, we didn't get out of the car. We just get back on the highway and keep on going. And it's like, okay. And then predictably, it happens again. And at this point, I'm already accepting it. At this point, I'm already accepting my fate. It's like, okay, it's already happening again. Fine. I know this is going to happen. And it actually goes all the way off, which means we have to pull out the jumpstart kit again, and this time the jumpstart kit is out of batteries. Which means we actually need to call roadside assistance. And I have a roadside assistance plan for my work, and it does work in the US and Canada. So it works. Like, okay. Fine. I got this covered. It's completely covered by my work. There's no charge for this whatsoever, so not a problem. We'll just call them and they'll come out. And they come out, give us the jump, and they're like, okay, hold on. I have a kit here that can test the battery. Okay, nice. Fire it up. Let's see what happens. So they wire it up to the battery and run a whole bunch of diagnostic tests. Well, we're just sitting there going, we're 2 hours into this trip. Battery's fine. Battery passes every single test. Flawless. Absolutely flawless. And the guy's like, well, the battery looks like it's in good condition. And my friend is like, well, yeah, the battery's only like a month old. This happened before we swapped out the battery, too. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, not a battery issue. Turns out the car's wiring or electric or I don't know, but it's not working. Okay. It's fine. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, there's no way this trip. Like we're making small talk, you know. We're making small talk with this dude. Like, you know, oh yeah, we're in the middle of a road trip. We just started out. We're gonna be going all the way to Redacted, and he's like, yeah, there's no way this car is making it there. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go down to AutoZone, I think it was called, and they can do a battery charge. It'll take like about an hour. They'll take your battery and hook it up to their, then hook it up in the shop and do a fast charge on it. It's usually a free service. Cool. Awesome. Thanks. And the guy's like, yeah, it looks like the battery is completely fine. It just had zero charge whatsoever. There's an AutoZone about like 5 miles, which I think is like 8 kilometers, something like that. Like, okay. Perfect. We'll go there. We go to AutoZone. We stop there. And we go inside. And we're like, hey, we've got a battery that needs to be charged. And we're hoping that you could help us out. And maybe we can plug in our battery jumper while we're charging the actual battery of the car, because that would help us out for the next time. That'll be fine. And the dude's like, oh, well, what happened with it? And we're like, oh, okay, well, so here's the story. We're on a road trip. We're going all the way across the continent. And this has issues already happened. Like, oh, okay, well, let me see let's go take a look at the battery. And he brings out his own battery test kit. Okay, cool. Runs the battery test. Battery comes back fine again, as we expected, because we knew this. We had this test done a few seconds earlier, but the guy was convinced, like, I want to run the test kit on the battery before I put it in there. And the guy looks at us and says, I kid you not, this is completely true, and says, well, the battery's full on, is full. It has a full charge. I'm sorry, what? Because we know the battery is fine, and 5 minutes ago, on the highway off-ramp, it was zero charge whatsoever. I don't know how batteries work, but I'm pretty sure that's not how batteries work. Even if it is like some other electrical issue in the car, I don't know how... And the guy's like, yeah, that's an electrical problem. Like, yeah, thanks, buddy. Didn't see that coming. It's an electrical problem. You don't say. Yeah, there's no way this thing's making it across country. There's a dealership over there. They did a voltimeter test at all. They did. It was just a tiny bit under on voltimeter, like within a 5% deviation, but like within acceptable. And there's a mechanic right down the street. They'll be open on Monday. Sir, my friend, my brother, it is a Saturday, and your best advice is to wait until a Monday? That ain't happening. So, I mean, no, that's simply not an option for multiple reasons. Oh, well, it definitely isn't gonna make it there. Yeah, that's what we've been told. A lot of that going around. Okay, well, thank you for your time. I'd fill your battery, but, well, the battery's already full, so I'm not sure what to tell you. You could tell me something? Anything, please? Give me a ray of sunshine, a ray of hope? Okay. So, we decide to say, okay, we're not getting back on the road without the jumpstart kit, right? Just no shot. Absolutely no way we're going back on the road without the jumpstart kit. So we find a restaurant when we're just gonna sit down and have a little dinner, and this is the first day. We started this journey at about my plane landed at, I want to say, noon. It's about 6 in the evening of a 16-hour journey, and we have traveled roughly 90 minutes worth. Okay. Doesn't bode well, but maybe that shop's going to be open on Monday, and by the time we actually get the car, to the shop, maybe 2 days will have passed. So, hey Safi, and hey Tessie. So, we sit down at Ruby Tuesdays, and we'd ask, we're very polite, I have the superpower of actually being able to talk to people. I am an introvert, and talking to people is not easy, but because of so long in tech support and so long in, various jobs where I've had to, and talking with people is a skill that I have, and it's a skill that my friend does not have. So it's like, okay, I'm the talk person to her. This is my role, this is my superpower, I accept it. So I'm like, hey, hostess, we have need a seat for 2. I need to charge this battery. Is there any? We need a seat with an outlet. And they're like, oh, okay, we can charge it. Like, cool, awesome, thank you. So we take our time eating, and I order a drink. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was actually quite wretched. It was an interesting type of wretched, though. You ever order something on a menu that you know is going to be bad, just because you're curious how bad it's going to be? And I saw a drink, and it's like, this looks really bad, but I gotta know what it's like. It was like a whole bunch of really loud flavors, like pineapple and mango and curacao and all these all these really intense flavors, like rum. It's like, okay, this is gonna be a super loud drink, and it's gonna be super conflicting, and it's gonna be super sweet. And I'm just like, I have no idea how they managed to combine all of those flavors and make something so bland. It was the least interesting drink I could have ever had. It's like, how? Every single ingredient is screaming at the top of its lungs, and somehow you mix them together into the weakest, blandest drink I've had in a very long time. I mean, I thought it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be that kind of bad. I thought it was going to be like, yeah, I hate this. I didn't think it was going to be, this is uninteresting. So, anyways, I do not remember what the drink was. I really don't. And I kind of wish I did, but I also kind of would be very happy never finding it. You know what? No. Heck it. Heck it. I'm looking it up. You guys deserve to know. You guys deserve to know. And this is the content that you're paying for, or that you would be paying for if you paid me, but no one pays me, so don't worry about it. It was a Ruby Tuesday. There it was. I see it. Okay. Wait, let me pull it up. It was called a Ruby Relaxer. And listen to this, the ingredient list. An ounce of vodka, Okay, cool. You have a nice sharp flavor. An ounce of coconut rum. Coconut rum, if you haven't had it before, coconut rum tastes the way that suntan lotion smells. Suntan lotion doesn't actually taste good. Anyways, suntan lotion doesn't taste as good as it smells, but coconut rum tastes the way that suntan lotion smells. It has an ounce of peach schnapps. Schnapps is like very peachy. It should be like, one of those flavors that punches you in the face. 3 ounces of pineapple juice. I'm off my diet for this trip because I know that we're going to be eating whatever we're finding along the path. So it's like, okay, I'm off my diet for a few days. A half an ounce of cranberry juice. And cranberry juice, even at half an ounce, should just be dominating everything, right? A splash of grenadine. Sure, why not? And like this is the most like this should be it was super dull. It was very boring. Okay, anyways, we have dinner. It's pretty bad. Quick side tangent. Another side tangent to the side tangent. I have been at a number of restaurants that have gotten worse over time, and I feel like I can clearly see them getting worse. Like, I haven't been to a Ruby Tuesdays in years. Probably the sunny side of a decade. But other places I've been to, like Outback or Applebee's or that kind of restaurant, where like I've been there in the past, and I've seen that them give smaller and smaller portions and worse tasting results, and it's like I'm pretty sure that they're just making their products worse, but I can't prove it. But maybe it's, I don't know. Anyways, I wasn't impressed. That's the summary of it. Like, they're charging sit-down dinner. Anyways, okay, we get back on the road. We get back on the road, and we're like, okay, here's the plan for now. My friend is like, okay, usually this car is okay on city driving. The car's usually fine when it's not on the highway, so let's just take side roads. And I was like, we're taking this is 16 hours by highway. This is probably going to be 20 plus hours minimum by side roads. This is a terrible idea. But I'm like, okay, if that means the car doesn't explode, I'm into it. If that means that we don't die horribly from the car detonating, cool. If it means that the car doesn't decide to turn the seats into electric chairs, then I'm into it. Fine. It's sunset, and it's like, okay, heck it, we ball. So we just are taking side roads, and like these quaint little country roads that are like max 60 kilometers an hour, and taking that through a good chunk of the night. And it's like, you know what? Turns out that night driving actually kind of vibed with us because there were less cars on the road. Apparently, we both have really good night vision, so we just sort of rolled with it. It's like, okay, fine, we do this. Then when it got to the point where it's like, okay, brain check, we both be tired. Let's find a place, let's pull over, and let's just, take a sleep. And it's like, okay, do you want to just sleep on the side of the road and just in the chair? And I'm like, no. I have some money put aside for this. I need a hotel room. My butt is going to be in this car seat for the next probably 48 hours if we're going back roads the entire way. I'm sleeping in a bloody bed. And yeah, I actually have excellent dark vision. I just completely apropos of nothing for kobolding. It's just, no, I actually see really well in the night. People don't have the same passion for cooking. I don't know. It's all line chef stuff, right? It's just like stuff that's people make off of a list. It's not like the chefs have any actual say in what they're making. So yeah, I'm like, I deserve a bed. I'm paying for the bed. Screw it. We're sleeping in a bed. I have money set aside for this. We're going to the Best Western, I think it was. We stay there. It's a mid-hotel. Whatever. Fine. Wake up. Raid the continental breakfast for all of its travel stuff, like like cereal bowls and packets of peanut butter, like road trip secret. Okay, so quick background. When I was younger, my family did 14-hour road trips regularly because I had family half a continent away, and we would drive out there and drive for holidays sometimes and drive back. So I'm more used to these longer road trips than most people. I know the tricks, I know the secrets, I know the goals, and the tiny little hints that you want to hear. And one of them is this: go to a place with a continental breakfast, and remember, the staff doesn't care. The staff is not paid enough to give one rat's butt about what you do. They do not care. So you go, what a delightful breakfast. I'm going to take 5 of these peanut butter packets and put them in my bag. I'm going to take these little cereal packets because the cereal packets are pre-sealed in most of these places. They're not like, like in a big box or in like a dispenser. They're actually just in little packages, and you just grab 3 of those and put them in your backpack. And again, people who work there do not care. You take your canteen. You take contents, yeah, pretty much. You take a canteen and you fill it with apple juice from the dispenser, and the person who's working at the hotel just looks at you and says, "Whatever, my dude, I do the same thing." Like, seriously, that is the secret of road trips: is you continental breakfast is also your continental lunch and dinner. It gives you snackies for the road, and the peanut butter packets are the gold. That's what you actually really want, because the peanut butter packets. Peanut butter gives you so many nutrients and so many fats and so many calories, they will push you through a long drive. So there's your road trip secret. So we get back in the car, stockpiled on snackies. You've known long car rides, and you used to make a drive from Arizona to northern Utah. How long is that hour-wise? That's quite a trip, I think. Not that I am terribly clear where either of those states are. Okay, so we get back in the car, and we just start driving again, and it's the same process. We start on the back roads, and we're like, no, let's get back on the bloody highway. We need to find a way. We need to find a way to make it work. It's not going to be feasible to take the back roads across half a continent and 2 separate countries, right? Like, not an option. Absolutely not an option. So we get onto a highway and just start on that path, and the same thing happens, and we're like, okay. There's a reservation area, a First Nations territory area here that has some beautiful natural landmarks. Let's pull over, go for a walk, see a beautiful waterfall or whatever, and then get back in the car with a fresh start and a fresh, clean head, okay? And we do. It was beautiful. Genuinely. Absolutely great. Loved it. Yeah, we stayed there for probably an hour or so, maybe even 2. I don't know. But it was very pleasant. And just something that was nice. See, the thing is, this was an extraction, right? This was taking someone away from a bad situation. This wasn't a vacation trip. This wasn't a great, happy trip. So, having something fun, something that sparked joy, something that brought back, hey, we're going to actually just go out and be tourists for a little while, I think was really healthy for us both mentally, you know? So then we get back in the car, and they start driving, and I start thinking. My brain is actually activated. My neurons are firing, and I'm like, okay, you said that this can go at, we're in the America. I think it was like 50 miles an hour. You said you can go 50 miles an hour without any problem, right? And they're like, yeah, I could basically do that all day long. Like, cool. Let's try 60. Let's hop on the highway and just stay in the right lane and go 60 miles an hour for the next 90 minutes, for the next 2 hours, and see if we have the same problem. And they're like, oh, okay, sure. And we're like, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there in the right lane. We are having people pass us. We're having trucks past us, right? We're having trucks just blow by us and like, okay, whatever. It's fine. We don't actually care. But this is still so much faster than we would be like going over on stroads and stoplights on the side streets, right? Even at, granny speeds on the highway, we are doing better than going at law-breaking speeds on the side streets. Cool. We're getting somewhere. We're actually traveling. After about 2 hours, I lean over and I says to them, hey, the engine didn't explode. Yo, the engine didn't explode. Yo! Okay. Let's try 65. Okay, yeah, let's give it a shot. So we speed up and put the cruise control at 65 miles an hour. It's like, okay, we're gonna go science. We're going full science class on this now. We're doing scientific method. My hypothesis is that we will be able to find the fastest speed that this alternator can handle before it detonates the car into a billion pieces, and we'll find that and stick on it. We don't know what it is. When the car was dying, I think we were going like 140, 80 miles an hour. Oh, I need to do conversions. I'm not gonna do conversions. Screw it. And okay, cool. 65 is working. Do you want to try for 70? Do you think that might work? No. I mean, maybe. You know what? Let's try 70. We burned through another 3 hours at going 70. And it's like, okay, we're in this. We're doing this. We're making road time. We're making this happen. Things are happening. We're getting somewhere. 75? So we go 75, and about half an hour later, the engine light comes on, and the alternator explodes. And it's like, okay, no. Pull over, re-jump start the car. Nope, okay, 70. Fine, 70 it is? No going 75, that's too much. We found the limit, we can't go faster than that, or the car explodes. But we found a limit, and we found a limit that works for us. Science! So we know that going 70 will work, unless we're going uphill. If we're going uphill, we have to drop it down to like 60. I think it's more based on like RPMs than actually speed, but I don't know. But all I know is that we found the speed at which the car explodes the least. And how fast before fire? It was 75. At 75, everything exploded. So, we found it. Now we had an answer. Now we had a goal, we had a path, we had a hope, we had a dream, we had a destiny, we had a plan. And that plan was to go on the highway at 7. Keep in mind, on day 1, we made about 2 hours worth of actual travel time in the first 12 hours of the trip. So, like, that was how we started. That was day 1. That was not great. And again, this is all one person driving. My friend is driving the entire time because of insurance reasons. Again, they are the sole driver. I am there to talk to them and keep them awake. I am there to provide music and entertainment. Yeah, they basically got a 16-hour live stream, huh? Anyways. So, we got it. Now, when I was younger, there were a lot of not side shows, what would you call them? Tourist traps. There were a lot of tourist traps. When I was younger, there were doing the trips with my family. There was like the world's largest ball of twine, or the place where gravity doesn't exist, where you have, a stop now on exit 5 and pull off on the exit, and you go into this like shady thing where there's like the place where gravity doesn't exist. I remember this one vividly, and like they have a whole bunch of little carnival trick style setting things up where it's like scales that are mismatched. Yeah, roadside attractions. Yeah, exactly. And like rooms that are built at a little bit of an angle, but just enough that you don't really notice it, but enough that you can actually have somebody stand on a wall a little bit if they know what they're doing, and the people who work there know what they're doing. You've done it for like they're trained in it, so they stand on the wall and they're like, "Look, gravity does not work here," and the kids go, "Ah!" And it's like, I wanted this. I wanted the really dumb thing. I wanted this so much, and they don't exist anymore. Like this is a big group punch. A big part of this trip was an area that I've been through before. And they weren't there. They're, like, for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, go watch Gravity Falls and realize that the Mystery Shack in Gravity Falls is very, very much a real thing. There were a lot of roadside attractions like the Mystery Shack that just littered the sides of these highways. Like, Sapphire, the trip has a big rocking chair. I remember very clearly a place with a double-decker outhouse. Yep, a double-decker outhouse. Now you might be thinking, Jade, that's incredibly stupid. And yeah, it's a meme. This is ye old meme. It's just a joke. You walk into the store and there's a bear trap on the wall with the center part painted red that says, "To register a complaint, press the red button." Like, it's all, like, tourist trap dumb meme stuff, and I'm kind of here for it. I kind of love it, A bear trap, you know what a bear trap is. Please tell me people know what bear traps are. I'm not that much in the woods. I am that much in the woods. Never mind. Okay, so it's the old cartoon trap that you that like sticks out that you put on the ground. My hand's not tracking. It's the old cartoon trap that sticks on the ground and it opens up. It was clunk. Oh, yeah, it was a double-decker outhouse. If you look, it was an outhouse, and you could take a ladder to get to the second floor. It wasn't actually functional. It was just there for people to giggle at and sit in the bottom part while their friend sits in the top part, and someone leaves the door open and take a picture of it. It's dumb. It's just roadside attraction dumb stuff. Bear traps, the things in horror movies and games. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, like I wanted to stop at a couple of these every once in a while. Like, I want to see these dumb roadside attractions. It'll add some levity to the journey. It'll bring some, like, hope to the person who I'm traveling with, frankly. And it'll just, like, make everything a lot more fun. It's like, there were none. We had that one First Nations reservation and with the waterfall, and that was it. There was nothing else. The entire trip. I was so disappointed. Like, where is the absurdist humor? Where is the cute but total cringe sideshow attractions? Where is my daily dose of cringe? I wanted it so much. Anyways. So once we figured out the speed that wouldn't make the car explode, once we found the speed that wouldn't make the car explode, we ate through the miles. We went so far. Genuinely, it was great. Now, apropos of nothing, I was in, maybe Liminal Spaces Online? Maybe. I do want to say, though, I was in boy mode for this. I can still, with a couple of tricks of clothing, pass as masculine. I can pass as feminine and masculine, and I decided for this trip, I would rather pass as masculine than risk being clocked as a trans girl in a place where that's not safe. Because again, a decent chunk of this trip was through the States. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go boy mode for this. But like, on the second day, it's like, yeah, I just want to feel more comfortable. So I went to, femme, did my makeup, and felt really pretty. And yeah, it was nice. Most roadside attractions nowadays are like come to the biggest Costco. We saw one of those. Not that one, but like we saw a world's biggest store, and it was just like, why? Why is this a thing? Who would care about this? So we went into the place and we're like, sure, why not? It's an attraction, I guess. Most of the attractions were like a vineyard, a brewery and vineyard, a winery. And it's like, all the attractions were liquor. All the attractions, top to bottom, every attraction was just liquor. Sucked. Anyways, we did go into one of the stores, and we had to find how many associates it took to buy a razor blade. This is just a disposable shaving razor. I was just looking for a disposable shaving razor that were locked up in a case. And I want you to guess. Guess how many people it took to get a shaving razor. World's biggest Costco is in Salt Lake City? How many? Yeah, liquor and dry. Yeah, right? They were all roadside attractions. They were all like, highway stops. And they were all liquor. 4, 18, 12. It's 5. It took 5 separate associates. Hey, can we get in this case? Oh, sure, let me go get someone. Oh, are you the person who needs help? Yeah, we need to get in the case to get some of these disposable razors. Oh, okay. You need someone with a key. Let me go get somebody with a key. Never saw them again. They just disappeared. I don't think that person I think they died. I think they're dead. So, Louisiana actually has drive-through daiquiri bars? Okay, I kind of want one now, though. Okay, but now you say it and I kind of want one. Anyways. So the first person went to get the second person. Second person said, oh, you need a key, I'm going to go get a third person. The third person died. Fourth person came by and said, oh, do you need help? I'm like, yeah, we're waiting on someone to help get in the case here. Oh, okay. I'll get someone who can help you. And at this point, I'm like, be careful. You might not make it back. You might die from this. I think they got backroomed, you're right. And then someone came out with a key. And I was like, okay, cool. Can you open the door for us? Yes. And then it took him about 5 minutes to try to get the key to work. Like, it was Benny Hill levels of absurdity. He's like, oh, okay, I have the keys right here. No, not this one. No, not this one. I'm just sitting there like, I've been waiting 20 minutes. It's been 86 years waiting for some disposable razors. Ah! Anyways, it's a key. Why isn't it labeled? I don't know. I think every display case in one of the biggest shopping centers or one of the I think they had a whole bunch of display cases, and I think he had the keys to all of them. Why are they in a case? I don't know. It's just disposable razors. I actually don't know why they were even in a case to begin with. Like, it's not like it was like a high-value electronic device. It wasn't like, and it needed an ID tag on it. It was just like $6 worth of disposable razor blades. I don't know. Anyways, I got him. Safety thing to stop. I guess. I mean, I think it would have been more depressed after waiting for 20... No, actually, that's a bad joke. I'm not going to make that joke. Sorry about that. I don't think that makes any sense. Anyways. So there's no interesting roadside attractions. Shoplifters. Shoplifters for $6 disposable razors? Really? With the guns out in the... There probably was a gun rack. Now that you mention it, yeah. Yeah, now that you mention it, I think there was actually a sporting goods section that had guns out. Anyways. So... So we're on the road, and we're just chewing through miles. And then... then the rain hits. Now, when I say rain, you're probably imagining some, like some nice pleasant rain falling down. No! This was an underwater Mario level. This water was coming down so hard that when we hit the part of the road where the water was coming down, it actually slowed the car down. Like it was like we hit water physics. It was so thick that we could have gotten out and swam through the air. It was extraordinarily moist. Yeah, wall of water. Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was a wall of water. And there was one truck that apparently had a speed buff in the rain. Because, now, okay, keep in mind, we have one speed that we can go. If we go over 70 miles an hour, the car explodes. But what I haven't mentioned is that if we go below a certain speed, the car also explodes. For completely different reasons. See, the car also has some sort of axle thing, where the slower you go, the more it rattles. So remember, you ever see the movie Speed? I think it was Speed. Was it Speed? I don't know. Where they had to travel at a certain speed. I mean, that's the name of the movie, I suppose. I'm gonna assume it's Speed. I might be wrong. I don't know. But there was a sweet spot that we had to go. If we were going slower than 60, the car was rattling and was going to shake apart and vibrate, and the tires were just going to just yeet themselves in either direction of the road. It was just going to be done. And if we go too fast, then the electrical system turns the car seats into electric chairs and we die. So we have to find this exact narrow little space that we can travel. The bus with the bomb? Yeah, that one. So... we know we were going the same speed. Like, not even just because of cruise control. We know because if we're not going the right speed, we die. And there was a truck. It sounds like a safe... Yeah. Multiple mechanics told us there was no chance, 0 chance, that this car would make it. So... we know that we are going the same speed. I mean... Oh, Tuzzy, there's like 4 things in here you can add. So... we know we're going the same speed. Because... so you know how a lot of cars slow down in the rain? A lot of drivers have never seen rain in their entire lives. A lot of drivers who've been driving for years have never actually driven in rain, so they go like a good 20 kilometers an hour slower as soon as it starts raining. You know the kind of people I'm talking about. You know them. Don't pretend you don't. If you don't know them, you are one of them. Pay attention. If the rain starts falling, your car's not made of sugar, you can keep on going. So, we know that we're going the same speed. And a lot of the other cars are doing the predictable thing where they just drop down their speed because they've never seen rain. Heaven forbid it snowed, but I mean, it was summer, but heaven forbid it snowed. Oh, it was a fuel injector. That's what it was. That was the thing that would make it explode if we went too slow. If we go too slow, the fuel injectors rattle the entire car. Because apparently they're also bad. So so we have electricity and bad fuel lines. We have a problem with the fuel lines and a problem with the electricity. You know what happens when electricity and fuel lines... okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So we're going the same speed, right? We know we are going the same speed. And we passed this truck. And we even commented on it because it was one of those trucks that had weird things on the side of it. Like, you know, like it was like it had like a mock storefront on the side of the truck. It's like, whatever, my dude. Okay, whatever. I guess that's your advertising budget. Screw it. I don't care. So we passed that thing pretty steadily before the rain hit, and then the rain hit, and we're going the same speed, and that truck just launches past us. Most of the other cars are driving 20 kilometers an hour slower, and this truck just barrels by us, probably going double what it was going before. It's like, oh, okay, well, they found the gas pedal, I guess, so good on them. And then about like an hour later, because we had a while in the rain, after we get out of the rain and after out of the raid sorry, Desi. Yeah. So when we're out of the rain later, we pass that truck again. The truck has a weather buff. Like, I know without question that we passed it steadily when there was no rain, and it was a pretty unique truck. But when it was in the rain, that thing just flew. That thing had extra stats. Amazing. The rain was annoying, but not like... Oh, it cooled it down because it was like super hot. That was the other thing, is that it was hot enough that we couldn't turn off the AC. We needed the AC to survive, or we burn. Add that to another list of things that could have happened. We could have burned alive if the AC went out. And Barakata. Brain explode. And we had to have the radio. Like, we had to have the Bluetooth radio turned on, because otherwise we would lose our sanity, you know? It's a 16-hour drive. You don't do that without music. That's not reasonable. So add that to the electrical things, you know? Like, on top of all this electrical stuff, we also had to deal with this idea of, like, we need the electricity running. We need this on. And then on top of that, with headlights and windshield wipers, it's like, okay. 65 it is, because we're using more electricity. So let's tone it back a little bit and just make sure that we don't explode. Mm-hmm. But we chewed through the miles that day. We did stop at another inn. This one was dirt cheap, because this was supposed to only be one night stayover. This was supposed to be, 16 hours over the course of 2 days. And this was the third day. Because the first day, again, we traveled like nothing. And then this day we traveled the vast majority of the trip. So like, okay, night 2, I'm just finding it the cheapest place I can find. So we did. The cheaper place was better than the nice one. The cheaper place was better than the actual, like, not, we didn't stay at a fancy place, but the cheap place that we went to on the second night ended up actually being nicer. Genuinely, unironically, it's like, why? What's the catch? What's the catch? And there was a lot of tiny things, little things, like the fixings on the what are they called? Like the lights on the lights were loose, you know? There was a couple of scuffs on the headboard of the bed. Or like, yeah, that was it. Aside from that, it was actually nicer than the one that cost more than double. I'm not exaggerating. The other one was literally more than double the price. And this place even had a pool. We didn't use the pool. Kind of wanted to, but also didn't want to, like, meh. And then we found a weird restaurant. I see in the, what was it? Shrimpy Truffle. I'm gonna say that's the name, because that actually is kind of like the name. Shrimpy truffle we found. It wasn't actually that, but it was a name similar to that. Yes, there was no continental breakfast here. That is correct. So, you know, whatever. But they did have shrimpy truffle. Not actually, but... And it's like, what the heck is that? There's no way we're not stopping at the place called Shrimpy Truffle. No chance in the world that we don't go there. 100% we're going to Shrimpy Truffle, right? Yeah, we're going to the Shrimpy Truffle. So we go in there and it's like, okay, this is a nice, like, not like upscale nice, but like, it's a mom and pop shop. This is a restaurant where clearly the person who built it is passionate about making their restaurants. It's like, okay, cool, I like it. It had a mixture of like different cultures. Like it sort of had like a fishing village vibe, you know, with a whole bunch of woodwork on the side on the paneling, with with like oars and some fishing nets on there, while still having like an Americana vibe, like with with all the light fixtures being different and having old oil signs, you know, or like old tins as a part of the chandeliers, and also had like a Japanese vibe as well, because they actually did serve sushi, and so like there was parts of it that also had like, you know, like the fish on the walls, and you know, and the yeah, like some of the aesthetic. It's hard to describe. Like the layout and the aesthetic was split between three different things, like fishing village, like almost like a New England style fishing village, and this like Americana of, you know, like middle of the, like, you ever see the show American Pickers? Is that one of those shows that's actually not shown in America? So there's a show called American Pickers, where it's a couple of dudes who go to really old places that have a whole bunch of trash, and they go through people's trash and be like, oh, this is a road sign from 70 years ago. That's actually worth like $100. I'll give you 20 for it so I can sell it for 100. And like, it like that's what I mean when I say Americana. It was like that kind of, you know, like that kind of vibe mixed with the Japanese and the fishing village thing. It was actually really, really pleasant. And the food was decent. Like, it wasn't that expensive, but for the price point, it was very good, you know? Surprisingly good. Surprisingly good for some random stop that is as in the middle of nowhere as possible. Like, this person had, like, this is a place for the local town. This just happens to be off the highway. No, I don't think if we hadn't stayed in that area, we would have never found it. And like, yeah, Shrimpy Truffle, highlight of the trip, 10 out of 10, best tourist destination. So, yeah, we closed out the trip. It's like a mama's cooking shack. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, but like actually with, you know, with some sushi in it and like some decent cooking. Shout out to the Shrimpy Truffle. I'm not actually, that wasn't actually its name. I'm using that because of I don't want to dox myself or the path or the person who I was with, you know. Yeah. Then we finished the trip pretty soundly, and yeah, privacy. Thank you. We finished the trip pretty soundly, and the car made it. The car actually made it all the way, and my friend actually made it too. They drove the entire trip, and like, genuinely, 10 of those hours were in one day. And like, you might think, oh, I work for 8 hours a day. No. 10 hours of driving? That's not easy. That is not an easy thing to do. So it was 2 hours of driving functionally on the first day, 10 on the second, and then the remaining 4 closed it out. The car made it by spite. The car made it simply to spite the people who told us that it couldn't. And I'll tell you something right now. This is also true. This is also actually completely true. we got back home, and my car exploded. Yeah, their car still works. It's not great. It's going to die, and it's going to die in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. But we got back, and my car is the one that died instantaneously. Within 3 days of getting back, my car decides, hey, what if I didn't? What if I stopped carring? And you know that sound when you have a gear? Like, you have something that's spinning, and it binds for a second, and then it cracks out? It goes, and it just sort of, like, explodes out? That's what it felt like. Apparently it's a rear differential. I didn't know that a rear differential was a car part. I thought a rear differential was a type of calculus equation. You take the rear differential of the equation to get the... That's what I thought the differential was about. Apparently a differential is in a car. I didn't know this, and mine's bad. So I take the car into the dealership, and they're like, And I went to the dealership because, like... I know that going to a dealership is usually more expensive than going to a local repair shop. But I also know that the dealership is going to give me the actual service. Like, they're usually not going to screw me over, right? So I went, and honestly, it's whatever. So I took it in there, and they're like, okay, so here's your problems list. There's $7,000 worth of problems on this car. I'm sorry, what now? Well, there's the rear differential, and this other part that's attached to the rear differential that need to be fixed. Otherwise the back wheels fall off. I'm like, oh, wheel bearing? I think it was a wheel bearing. It was a wheel bearing. So like rear differential and wheel bearing, that's like $4K. And your engine is leaking oil, so that'll be another $2K to fix. And I'm just like, yeah, it leaks oil. I'm okay with that. I just add a little bit of oil in between the oil changes, and it's fine. It doesn't drip in my like, you know, where I park my car. It doesn't drip any oil in my carport, so I don't care. It just sort of like burns off a little bit of oil here and there. Not a big deal. And the muffler is exploding. You need to fix it because it's too loud. It's like, okay, but what's that going to solve? It'll stop it from being so loud. I don't care how loud it is. The car has 100... like, I don't care how loud it is. The car is gonna do what it's gonna do. It's gonna be fine. I don't care. Okay, so fine. Fine. Fix the rear differential and the wheel bearing. Go ahead and fix those two things. That'll be enough. That'll be fine. That'll be enough. It's fine. So, that's $4K. Okay? That's a lot of money. Especially when I have like a whole bunch of other expenses right now. And then they call me back a couple days ago. Because mind you, this all happened within the past 2 weeks. All of this, everything that we're discussing here, is within the past 2 weeks. So they call me back and they're like, hey, so we've got the rear differential and the wheel bearing fixed, but while we were working on it, we found a problem with the center differential. And I'm like, there's a center differential? I thought that you'd fixed the differential. No, there's another differential. How many differentials does this car have? I don't even know what this is. So the center differential is attached to the transmission, apparently. I know what the transmission is. That's what makes the gear go clickety-clack to switch gears. Apparently, it's attached to that, and you need to replace the transmission. Like, oh yeah, that's another 7K. I'm like, this totals the car. You should have found that on the inspection, my good sir. That should not have been a gotcha. That should not be something that catches me off guard. You should have been like, hey, By the way, we found a problem with the differential, and another problem with your other differential, and the engine, and the wheel bearing, and the muffler. I think that's it. So, no, they didn't let me know, or they didn't know themselves, or I'm mad about it. I'm mad about it. I'm going in there tomorrow, and I'm going to go full Karen mode. Straight up. I am legit going to go full Karen on them. I'm going to ask to speak to the manager. Like, hey, they didn't tell me that this other part was what was going to be a problem. And the transmission's kind of important. I may not have to have my wallet did. Yeah, true. So I'm going to go full Karen mode and see what can get done, because honestly, that's more than the car's worth. Like, this kills the car, you know? So I might be getting a new car in the near future, or I might just be... Realistically, I might just be riding my motorcycle until it gets too cold to ride the motorcycle, and then I'll get a car. That realistically could be what happens. Because YouTube demonetized me. Yeah, that's right. We're in the channel update part of the stream now. For those of you who didn't know, YouTube decided to nuke my channel, kind of. The channel's still here, but the channel got full-scale demonetized without a real explanation as to why. Now, I have two theories, and both of them suck. The first... So, okay, let me read off to you exactly what the Jazz Jams say. This channel uses someone else's content without making changes that add significant value. Examples of what is allowed to monetize. Funny or thoughtful content that you didn't... Funny or thoughtful revision of content you didn't originally create, which streaming counts as. Clips of other people's content as a part of a critical review. Yeah. Scene from a movie where you've rewritten dialogue. It's just all fair use stuff. Don't! Short videos you compiled from other social media websites, collections from songs from different artists, all the stuff that's demonetizable. I get it. I understand this. That's normal stuff. I've been a YouTuber for long enough that I know this. I think it's the latter, Dallas. So, that's what they dinged me for. They didn't explain it. And I'm like, okay, why? I can think of two reasons. One, I did have a YouTube short that I had not done a lot of work on, that was mostly someone else's work on TikTok. I did have one YouTube short that was making the rounds again, and actually had a decent number of views, a couple 10,000, and that had, and that could have been it. But if that was it, that should be a takedown request for one video. I don't do that regularly, you know. The actual email specifically states that, quote unquote, a significant portion of your channel is not in line with YouTube partner policies. I had one or two videos like that, and they were several months old. That's not something I do anymore. Now I just upload my TikToks. But so they nuked it. So that's one possibility. The other option is the one that you all know. I was doing a charity stream. I've been doing charity streams this all Pride Month, with donations going towards all donation money going towards the Trevor Project, with a very charitable plus 20%. Now, this is before I knew my car issues. I'm still committing to that. I promised it, and I'm committing to it. But I had promised that that there was going to be any donations made during Final Fantasy V playthrough time period would be donated to the Trevor Project with a plus 20% modifier given by myself. I am still committing to that. I am still doing that. I swear it. I suspect that someone who is a bit more on the transphobic side decided that they didn't like that idea and got my channel mass reported. The thing is, now, look, I get it. It makes sense to do things by algorithm. There are millions of channels on YouTube that have sub 5K subscribers, and they can't monetize every single... They can't handle every single one of those. It's simply not a reasonable thing. So I think that it... So I get why they have to do that by algorithm. And I just couldn't get a human review. I did light them up on Twitter, and they just gave me forum-fed responses. They just gave me forum-fed responses, and I hated it. So my channel is currently straight demonetized, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I did an appeal. If you want to see the appeal video, check my Twitter. I did it publicly. I did the appeal video on YouTube as it requested, the unlisted video, and then I uploaded it to Twitter and added Team YouTube and YouTube. If you want to support me, retweet that and say to them, hey, why hasn't what went wrong here? Because I don't know. Don't be nice. Don't actually be harassed, please. And I don't actually. It's not that big a deal. I can reapply for monetization in 90 days, which puts me to September 26th, which sucks, but whatever. YouTube doesn't make... Right now, in my life, YouTube makes about enough money to pay for YouTube, right? YouTube makes about enough money to pay for my commissions and games that I use for playing YouTube, for doing YouTube stuff, and TikTok stuff, for that matter. So, as of right now, it's fine, but it sucks. So, yeah. I might do a subathon of some form after Final Fantasy V is completed. I will have to figure out what I'm actually going to be doing with it. Money-wise, I'll be okay. I'm not in such a bad position that, you know, I'm, like, struggling. But, right now, any donations will still go towards Terror Project, and I will still be giving that plus 20%. After Final Fantasy V is complete, then I will be pocketing stuff, and I will be making that donation. I don't know, will probably not be making that donation the same day that I finish Final Fantasy V, because I need to, you know, make sure that everything's going to be okay. Because everything is going to be okay. It just might take a few moments to get there. So, yeah, that's your channel update, I guess. YouTube is angry at me for reasons that are unexplained. Videos referenced in your appeal are not representative of your channel. Buddy, my channel is 90% VTuber live streams. That's the other thing, is I suspect that it only looked at my view count, and my shorts view count for some of the uploaded stuff was very high. You know, my normal videos get somewhere between 200 and 300 views for shorts, and between 70 and 90 views for live streams, with a lot more viewer retention rate as opposed to numbers. So, I think that they didn't take a look at the live stream stuff, and they just looked at the uploads, and the uploads, they saw a couple of videos of TikTok uploads that were at high numbers that were not entirely my own, and was like, hey, screw your life. If I were big enough that YouTube was a sizable portion of my revenue, if I was big enough that YouTube was my normal income, then I would be big enough for YouTube to actually pay attention and listen to me. That's really what it boils down to. I'm not. So, like, blessings and curses, right? The blessing of not being big enough for YouTube to listen to me is the fact that I don't rely on YouTube as my only source of income at this time. I want to get there. I want to get there, and I'm going to keep on going until I get there, dang it, because this is important to me, and I love this, and this is what brings me joy. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I don't know when I will be. But I'm going to keep going because I like this. And on that note, let me know what you guys think about what I'm watching and what I can do to improve. Because one thing I've noticed is it's difficult to get real feedback, right? I've noticed my numbers not doing as well specifically on Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm not entirely sure why. Final Fantasy V is a little bit low, too, compared to what I was doing before, when I was doing... well, the Game Jam stuff is always a big spike, of course, but, like, just before the Game Jam, I was doing... Well, Tunic, and those numbers were going much better. And Terranigma did okay. But, like, I don't know. I feel like I've backslid a little bit, and I'm not sure why. And I'm sad about it. So, like, if there's something I can do, I would appreciate feedback. If something I can improve on. I feel like, look, I know a lot of people aren't in it for Tears of the Kingdom because those are A, long streams. I'm doing like 3 to 4 hour streams, and B, a lot of people don't want to play it. I don't want to watch it until they've played it. I get it, but I feel like Final Fantasy V is pretty close to my bread and butter. You know, I feel like I should be doing better on Final Fantasy V because that's should be the content that you guys come to me for. I thought. If you guys want to see more Tunic-style indie games, let me know. If you guys want to see more retro JRPGs like Terranigma and Final Fantasies, let me know. I don't know. I want to do things that people enjoy because when you guys are here, have more fun the more people are watching. Genuinely, unironically. The more people that are watching a stream, the more fun I'm having with it. And it kind of shows. Like, you could see it during the game jam, right? You could see me getting real hype and real excited and real engaged during the game jam when I had a more viewership. Like, I do better the more people I have, which is why I think I'm going to make it. Genuinely. That's why I think I'm going to make it. It's because the more people that watch me, the better I do. And the better I do, the more people watch me. It'll eventually spark a feedback loop with people, you know, if enough people clip me and, you know, upload my clips to social media sites and enjoy watching me, I will get there. It just is going to take a while. It might take another year, it might take another 6 years, but I don't care. I'm doing this. Would I ever make a video discussing how to study video games to make design better? I think I should do that. I should do more edited content, more video essays, because I like video essays, frankly. There's no reason not to. I enjoy it. I'm good at it. And I can ask Hensha to edit for me, for them, but I just haven't because mostly what I've been doing is live, you know, the whole VTuber live thing. But yeah, I think I will do some more game design uploads, but those are harder to do. Seriously, like the 40-minute long Soldiers episode that went out in video, that was actually the weekend that I was did the road trip, by the way. That Saturday where I had the Soldiers upload on the 24th, that's when this happened. That's when this all went down. That's why it was an upload on that Saturday, and I got back on Monday in time to stream. Because I wouldn't interrupt my schedule for you, even in a catastrophe situation, even when things explode, even when my life is unironically in mortal danger. I will get back to you in time to stream. Because I love you. And I love this. It's true, though. I am an idiot, and that's okay. So yeah. That's my life right now. I did a road trip and put my life in mortal peril several times. We managed to make it, despite everybody saying we couldn't, despite everybody saying there was no way it would happen. I kept a consistent streaming schedule to the point where many of you didn't even know I was gone. If you weren't here, if I didn't mention it on the Discord, you guys didn't even know that I wasn't there. I had a shrimpy truffle, and it was tasty. What a wonderful time. What a wonderful life. What a wonderful existence that I am allowed to lead because God has not found a way to take it from me yet. And every day I will laugh as he tries and push through because I'm happy and I'm staying happy. Tomorrow will be more Final Fantasy V. Look forward to that. The run is not dead yet. We have had some amusingly catastrophic luck in it so far, but the run is not dead, so look forward to Final Fantasy V. Tears of the Kingdom is going very well. I am constantly committing crimes in that game. I am doing things in that game that I should never be allowed to do and that no kind and just God would allow me to handle. I will do more chat streams because I mean, it's me. I do dumb stuff, and yeah, sometimes I'm going to talk about it. The Discord is a wonderful place. If you're not in the Discord, you should hang out there. It's a really nice, cozy Discord for vibing, and it's not like a streamer Discord where it's all about the streamer. It's just a cozy place for for friends. I'm on the Twitter until that dies. I am on Tumblr. I don't really use it. I am waiting to see what the next social media is that people actually go to. I have a co-host, but I don't post on it. I have a Mastodon, but that is terrible. I'm on TikTok, but all of my TikToks I've uploaded as YouTube Shorts. So, like, yeah. That's my life right now. I think that I am going to go either to the hot springs or for a bike ride. And then I'm probably going to hop on to the Discord channel and talk to people because y'all are nice and I appreciate you. And be sure to like the video and thank you for your support. In any form, whether it's emotional support, whether it's just a simple like, or whether it is a hug emote, or whether it is just being there for me. Being there to make what I do make sense. Being there to make my life more fun. Because it wouldn't be fun with that if I wasn't doing this live. It wouldn't be fun if I didn't have a community. It wouldn't be fun if I wasn't able to present it. Somehow. It would be, but it wouldn't be the same. And I want to thank you for being an integral part of my life. Genuinely, for these past couple of years, all of you have been a core part of my life. Even you who just clicked on this video randomly who has never seen me before. Yes, even you who's been watching me from the beginning and has never missed a stream. Yes, even you who just randomly decided, hey, I'll see what this is about, and even though you haven't watched me in the past year. Everybody who is hearing this now, I love you. Thank you for helping me be who I am today and find this weird slice of insanity and happiness. I have this weird niche where I'm a furry VTuber, but I'm not really a furry. I'm a video game character. I am a VTuber, but not really, because a lot of my stories are things that actually happened to me genuinely IRL. I am a streamer, but not really, because I have the motion capture model. I am an actress, but not really, because I haven't been in a play for a hot minute. I am, I am a lot of different things, and also, but not quite all of them, but also very much all of them. I have lived an extraordinary life, and I plan on keeping on living it. And I hope that in some small fashion, that you'll be happy to hear about it. Good night, friends. I love you.